that Julie has kindly volunteered to play some TwilioQuest with us to boost that point total. Have you already downloaded and installed TwilioQuest?
I absolutely have.
So I'm going to add to the stream your desktop. You actually have the correct join stream.
I did well.
You did that. You are winning this morning. The join code is actually instant bin again, which honestly still feels like it makes too much sense for the random generation, but you have done the correct thing. You've used the join code. So now
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here in settings, and then here in my lovely operations. So,
yay.
Which of course I have already done. So you can see my operation is here.
Yes. And just FYI, for anybody that is doing an event, you can be in multiple operations at the same time. So just because you're at an event right now does not mean that you cannot help us out with our Pride operation.
Awesome.
So what are you going to pick for our first mission today?
So today I have saved this lovely PHP section.
Nice. Nice.
So so I've been streaming through stuff because I in the last month just started. So I am going back in to get all of my stuff done here. So we will delve into some PHP together.
Excellent. Fun fact, I created this level.
Oh, yay! Okay, well then you can tell me everything I'm doing wrong.
Hopefully, or I can just embarrass myself like it times 10. It'll be great. It'll be great. I love it.
All right. Oh, this is my same one. Okay. I'm incognito, which is probably better. Okay, and I'm sure PHP is not installed on my machine. And this is, of course, the part that I usually have the biggest struggle with. It's not so much the writing the code, it's getting all of the pieces in the right place.
Absolutely, which is why they are now objectives instead of just assumptions.
Right?
Hopefully it'll be helpful. So,
it does.
What operating system are you using?
So I'm on a Mac.
Okay, so you probably do have a version of PHP installed.
Oh, okay.
But is it the right version of PHP?
That is always the question, right? Okay, so, well, I suppose we could just try. This is what I like to do.
That's fair.
We'll just see if it's in here.
So one thing that we released recently is actually an authoring guide so people can create their own TwilioQuest content. And so we have been doing a lot of meta work, just looking at how we create these missions so we can help people on their journey. And one of the learnings that we have found and are trying to share with our new content authors is that experienced developers will absolutely not read the instructions. They will just jump in and start trying things to see what happens. And so it's super important to have like error detection and error messaging, because that's honestly the experienced developers, that's going to be your first opportunity to actually communicate with them.
It's so, thank you. Cause I might as well try it. I suppose it comes from so many times of going through and, stuff doesn't work the first time, hardly ever. So you're not really beat down by trying something and then have it not work. So you might as well try up front because you might get lucky and then you don't have to do anything else.
Facts. And I do think it's multi-purpose, because on the one hand, maybe it'll just work. And on the other hand, you might as well just like dust off your skill level in accepting failure, because that is absolutely part of the developer journey. Like, I'm learning something new. Better get ready to fail 10,000 times.
Yep, exactly. And there is definitely a lot of that. There's a lot of ego checking that I'm being reminded of, especially coming from being really good at something that I was doing every day to coming back into a space where I am not.
Yep. Learning and growing are always, and the developer path will keep you humble.
Indeed, it will. Okay, so I'm just going to start with some general considerations then.
So which panels have you looked at in my awesome mission that I totally put tons of helper data into?
In this one here?
Yep. So there are 3 tabs across the top.
Oh, okay.
If you open that back up, you'll see that there are 3 tabs across the top. And the first one is like the super duper short summary. Like,
right.
The second one is the outline. And the third one is I don't know how much experience anybody has coming into this. Let me try and help you.
You're right. That's where we should be. I was going to try and read something, and this is probably the better objective for the reading.
You had jumped into the PHP manual, which is actually fantastic because PHP is an open source language. And so all of the online documentation is created by and for the community. And it is thorough and it is gorgeous. And it is an entire set of books, which you could be lost in forever. Because that's how good.
Right? It's true. I love this. PHP is not recommended. Okay. That's funny.
Well, I recommend it. I'm recommending PHP.
Fair enough. I think that's fair. So, okay. So, and then I guess what I need to check is my version.
So PHP /v.
Yep. My version here is listed as 7.3.2.
Make that bigger because I can't read it.
I sure can try. Let's see. I feel like. Here we go.
Thank you. Yes, I seem much less clueless when I can read what's going on.
I think that's really reasonable. There we go. Now we have things that you can read. So I have
7.3.
Mm-hmm.
And we need 7.4 or better.
Perfect. So then we're going into our next set of instructions here. Upgrade. Probably brew. Upgrade. PHP. There are so many tools here that I've just never heard of before, but again, it's been a couple of days, and previously I was not working in more of an open space group, so it was, I had a server that someone set up for me, and I always worked on that. So it's just a little different place to live.
Very different. Moving between proprietary software and open source software, it's just incredibly different.
And I just feel like a little bit more pressure to play nice with everybody. So I in my own space when I mess up, that's just me, right? So making sure that I've got all of the ways I don't mess anyone else up right is a little bit more pressure, but I think I got it.
So Surly Dev is supportive of us reading things to be less clueless and says that this goes for error messages as well. And I will 100% agree because one of the things I am super guilty of, speaking of coming back to things we used to know well, is when I'm coming back to something I used to know well, I will absolutely make it harder on myself by assuming I know what error messages are saying to me and clicking off of them to go try 5 things, only to realize that if I just stopped and read that error message, I could have saved myself sometimes minutes and sometimes hours, depending on how stubborn I was that day.
That's the joy of coding right there. Because it's one of those things you always get the estimates, how long is that going to take you? And then sometimes I literally have to come back with it's either 1 hour or 75. And then you have to explain the joy of finding the missing semicolon is how I usually just sum it up, because you never know when you might have just misplaced that semicolon. And then it's 5 hours of going around in a circle, and then you find something silly, and then you're like, oh, that was it.
Yep. When I was a contractor for hire, when it was my job to give estimates without enough data to make estimates, I would always do my best and then double it. And it was that doubling it that eventually caused me to start being a contractor everybody loved, because they came in under their estimates, as opposed to the contractor that was constantly having to try and explain development realities to clients, because they don't care. They really, really don't.
Yeah.
If they care themselves.
Well, and it's just every project really is what home project did you ever put the right estimate on when you thought you knew what it was going to take?
Never. Oh, no. I've led myself down that very path many a time. Many a weekend project has turned into, wait, I had a vacation. I had one scheduled. I was going to do things, but no, now I have this new command line tool.
Right. Right. Yes. So I probably should have stuck in here and figured this one out, but we'll do this lovely download time.
Hey, this is why I put this stuff in, because making assumptions as to what people's setup is, that's actually the beauty of why we did TwilioQuest as an app that you install on your operating system. Is because although I love all of the free education that is available online, if it's just push media education, you have to make assumptions. You have to make assumptions about people's setup. And then you lose huge batches of potential learners with every single assumption that you make, because that's going to be somebody's wall that they hit, and they don't know what assumptions you're making that they don't meet. And so they don't even have the starting place for fixing that for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great. And then, you have the ability to actually check in and see where things are, and, have that follow-up capability, which is important.
Oh, yeah. I really feel like it's like the next step of democratizing the information, like the internet made. We were talking about this on a previous stream, like the difference between being a developer before the internet.
Oh my gosh.
Versus after the internet. And like, yeah, that was a thing. You could totally be a programmer before the internet, but you needed like a very finite range of knowledge that you were mastering. Like, no, this is the kind of programming that I know in this particular kind of application, and I know it because I own these books.
Yeah. Not only that, but, good luck being effective in anything that you hadn't been working in for 6 to 9 months. Right. Like I went back in, and again, it's kind of similar thing. Like I had some SQL that had come up that I needed to go back and do some work with. And I Googled what I wanted it to do, and I had the answer in maybe 20 minutes. Whereas when I started, there would have been a book this tall on my desk that I would have been flipping page through, hoping something finally made sense. It would have been hours and hours to find. So it's just a whole different scenario. You just don't work the same way at all.
Yeah, it's a whole different universe. Like when I'm talking to humans that are up and coming, that are doing especially, I mostly mentor people that are on the self-taught path, because that's the path I came up. So that's what I can speak to most authentically. Yeah. And one of the biggest learning hurdles that I have to get them past is this idea of owning knowledge, of needing to know something so well that you could do it without your references. I'm like, that is not the world that we are operating in. It's cool, but you got to listen to me, the old fogey in the career that you were attempting to get into, when I tell you that I am considered an expert in all sorts of things. And if I can Google how to do that in 5 seconds, I am an expert at that thing. That is expertise in the journey that you have chosen.
Yeah. Okay. Woohoo! I think we made it. So
let's do PHP-V and see if we are pointed at the correct PHP version.
All right. I did not like that. Okay. So not sure why this came up. Oh, did I lose everything?
No. So
okay.
If I'm recalling correctly, because I have absolutely had to tag along on people playing my missions before. Ooh, Incessant.
Yes. Yeah, I love it.
If I am guessing correctly, what has happened is we have remember how you tried to brew upgrade, and it was like, I can't upgrade, you don't have PHP installed. That's because where brew was looking to install it, you didn't. So now you have 2 versions installed, and there's a command line command for pointing at the correct one. And last time Sarah was in the studio audience and just told us what that was. So I did not have a recent memory of what that command is. It might be in the help somewhere.
Okay, right. I was just wondering. Well, I mean, like which sounds good, although I don't. It doesn't.
Yeah, PHP which should at least tell you where the current one that it is pointing at is.
So that's the current one,
right? And you can look above, and the new one we installed was at. Sorry, the screen moved. User local etc PHP 8.0 is where the new one is. So we just need to point
this guy. Yeah. Okay.
No, that's
cellular.
I would look for the one where it says the php.ini and php file can be found in. That is my guess for the one you want to point it at. Yeah.
Okay.
If only Sarah were here. Sarah knows everything. So not even kidding.
Well, I mean, I know we can get through this, but I don't know that I can. Oh,
no, we need the command
to point. Point to that
machine's PHP at that version of the PHP. So there's
got it. Let me get the right screen up here and let's see. And page. Ooh, maybe alias does not look nice. And that seems like it might do the trick, but they're not actually saying exactly the same words that I would expect them to say for that.
So maybe if we do brew unlink PHP at 7.4 and then do brew link PHP at 8.0.
Okay.
That's what Google has told me just now.
Okay. Unlink PHP
At no space at
okay.
PHP
Got it.
at 7.4. Did it like that? Did it hate that? No, it does not appreciate me at all. Okay.
Well, let's see. Because, yeah, but this just said, I wonder if we just, maybe I just unlink PHP since my folder didn't have a, right? Because I have a cellular, but it just says PHP. And this is saying, looking for the folder with at 7.4 on it. Oh, well. And then what was it? Relink? Brew link?
Brew link.
Link.
It seems to have unlinked the 8.0 version. See, I think the problem is that Brew only knows about the one version and it's not the version that Which is pointing at.
Yeah. So, because like with, it was a little easier with Python. I just would put that version number at the end. So it was like Python 3 would actually point to then that Python. I don't know if there's the, well, let's just try just in case. Okay. That's worth a shot.
When we figure this out, obviously I need to update the help files because this is twice that it's come up and I can't just assume that chat's going to be able to fix this for me every time.
Right. I wish it would, right? See, and this, there we go. Kind of wondering if this alias might be my guy.
That does seem reasonable.
It does. I just was
like
wanting
to change the path variable, but like.
Mm-hmm. And there is basically some reference to the path here. I mean, this, like I said, just being that we are talking about command line code that I am not familiar with. I'm not usually quite so quick to just try everything I find in that range. But this does seem fairly reasonable.
I think we need to figure out how to point the which at the seller version.
Got it.
That's what Brew keeps looking for. That's what Brew keeps interacting with.
True. Okay.
This is hilarious to me because I am failing at Google Foo, which is what I was just claiming to be an expert at. That's
right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I'm just at least walking everyone through my failures as a group, which is always nice. So this does say, I'm going to try again. I feel like I tried the alias once and I don't feel like it really did what I wanted it to do. Of course, I have to spell it right. That always helps.
Okay. What if we run this command that I just added to chat?
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me look. Oh, that seems promising.
Okay, so now what does PHP which say?
Well, I got a version. Yes. Yay!
I wonder which of the things we tried worked.
I think it was this last one. I'm totally giving you all the credit. I'm giving you all the credit.
Sure.
We'll put that back up because he'll probably come back at another time. All right. So look what a real coding experience we've given everybody today.
That was all very authentic. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. It doesn't like that one. Let's see. Oh, it's because that's not an execution path.
Yep.
Because I don't know how to go find that. How do I find my execution path?
I'm sure that the help told you how to get the path, because I wouldn't have relied on my memory.
Fair enough. Let's do that.
Oh, to get the full path, use which space PHP.
Got it.
All right. So that.
Oh, it just doesn't like this guy, maybe. Maybe? Nope. Still not a EXE though, I guess. That's my thing. So maybe
But you're not on Windows, so you shouldn't need the EXE.
Oh, fair enough.
So.
Oh, there we go.
Wait,
Third time's the charm.
What was the difference? What happened?
I don't know for sure. Maybe it didn't like, but nope, I don't know. I really don't know now. I'm gonna have to assume a typo because
sure. Yep.
User error is
that's fine.
Almost always right.
We got the green success. That's
we are gonna move forward.